Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Life with Everyday Haley. I'm so glad you're here with me today. If you're returning, welcome back on this crazy journey we are on. Super happy to be back with you with an update video today. And if you are new, welcome. I love that you found my channel. I hope that some of the things that I share, the words that I say resonate with you and can help you as you navigate the difficult journey of fertility. And so a little bit of backstory as we get started today. I'm a woman that struggles with not trying to conceive, but unfortunately, first trimester miscarriage. And I have had two back-to-back miscarriages, went through a full fertility assessment, and they found some things that my fertility team is working to address and hopefully will lead me to success in an upcoming pregnancy. And so this video today is a video about the TTC products that I have come to love and pull out as my trusted resource. And I will say that they definitely work, at least for my body, because I have only tried to conceive 4 months in my life. And out of those 4 months, I got pregnant 2 out of the 4 months. So about a 50% conception rate. And that's pretty high, especially when you look at the average population having about a 30% chance for each cycle. And I only share that to say that I think that the success that we did have very early, conceiving the second month of trying, and then the second month of trying again, unfortunately, they did end in miscarriage, but that is not due to conception. That was due to other issues that we were addressing in my uterus and other things. The products that I'm going to share with you today work. They worked for me because I use them religiously. I use them, follow the instructions and use them to the proper cadence. And that is how we were able to conceive so quickly. And I just want to pause and say that there's a lot of people out there that do this every month and do not have that same success. And I just want to say that I acknowledge that, and I want to be sensitive about that. I don't want you to think, oh, I'm just going to use these tools and then I'll immediately have success. I don't want you to think that, but I just want you to know that these tools I'm going to show you today can just help you maximize your chances of conception in that fertile window and help you track along the way. And so I just want to start off by saying that these are not a magical fix. And oftentimes, if people are unfortunately struggling with conception for longer than 6 months to a year at a time, it is due to underlying fertility factors. So I would encourage you, if you have been trying for longer than 6 months and you are a young couple, start thinking about maybe I should get a full workup done. And oftentimes you have to wait until that 1 year mark, but in certain circumstances, if you do have some underlying known issues, sometimes your doctor can help you earlier. So just try to advocate for yourself. Every journey is unique and different, and there are unique challenges along the way. I totally understand that, and I respect that. But just know that in terms of conception, really, conception should be pretty easy. When you see couples getting pregnant first or second cycle, actually, in an ideal world, that would be the way that everybody is. And it can be very heartbreaking, especially in my situation, to be able to conceive easily, quickly, and then struggle with miscarriage. So there's all kinds of different factors involved in the fertility journey. And infertility, you can struggle with, like we talked about, conception. You can struggle with miscarriage. You can struggle with miscarriage for a variety of reasons, and infertility, trouble conceiving for a variety of reasons. So the best thing that you can do, and after going through this, diagnostic journey and miscarriage journey, the best thing that you can do is get a full workup done, evaluate your body, because either they'll find something with you personally or maybe even your spouse. And I share that because there's usually a reason, there's usually a reason. So try to advocate for yourself. And oftentimes the reasons are treatable, or there are protocols and things that can be put in place to help you have success. I just don't want you to feel alone in that. So I just wanted to share that as we get started. And again, the reason that doctors will tell you this is just from a woman that's been there. Try for, your chances of conception after, 3 cycles is pretty high. They're saying that because it's true. If you consistently try to conceive in your fertile window, the chances of conception are very high the longer you try. So maybe not that first month. It didn't work for me ever the first month. It seemed to work both times the second month for whatever reason. But the more chances you give your body in the best time frame, the best chances you can have to maximize your success. Before we get into these products, some other things that you can do is, supplement, make sure you're on your prenatals. Again, I have a full protocol as someone that's had 2 losses, but even if you don't, make sure your husband's taking a multivitamin to help with his body. His body also is important. Make sure you, things that you can do if you feel called, limit your caffeine, stay away from, smoking and drinking and things like that that can hurt your fertility, and just try to be healthy. And that's really all you can do. And then you just have to leave it up to God to work it out. So, okay, in this video, we are going to talk about some of my favorite products for trying to conceive that have, in the past at least, led me to success. And as I prepare for another opportunity for conception for a next pregnancy, these are my go-to products. They're not that expensive. They're easily purchased on Amazon, and they've really made a difference in my life. And I've also seen them to be very accurate in terms of the tests and things. So let's get started. All right, so if you're a woman with PCOS like me, I highly recommend that you watch this video and implement some of the things that I do. Because sometimes tracking ovulation for people that are not very consistent with that, with ovulating and cycles, can be really challenging in terms of fertility. For women with PCOS, one of the biggest challenges is pinpointing ovulation and knowing when to try to conceive and if it will work. And so you hear that across the board, that I don't even have a chance of conception because I don't know when I'm ovulating. I don't want you to feel that way. And nobody deserves to feel that way. And so at least through this process, though it is time consuming and takes, responsibility and dedication every day to test, you may be able to better pinpoint that ovulation and know when to try to conceive. Because the most important thing that I've found about conception is knowing when your fertile window is happening and timing intercourse to try to hit when you ovulate, so that your body, that egg and that sperm, will come together and fertilize and then implant into a pregnancy. So that can be a big benefit of using these products. So the first one is the Easy at Home Ovulation Test Kit. So you can go on Amazon and you can purchase a kit of ovulation and HCG pregnancy tests. I have the individual kits just because I've been on this journey for so long, but this is filled with with ovulation test strips. So how I use these is I track my cycle on the Premom app. So I'll show a picture of the Premom app. It is on your phone. It's a free app that you can download when you purchase these testing strips. And I track everything about my cycle. I track when my cycle starts, when my cycle ends, the type of blood that I have, the flow type, the color of the blood. I track everything. Any symptoms I have, whether it be cramps, bloating, anything. I track everything so that I have an accurate piece of data showing my cycle information. And that has been so beneficial for me to even see what is my average cycle length, what day of my cycle am I ovulating, and all of that data, which is super important to take to your doctor in terms of if you are struggling with tracking ovulation, knowing when you're ovulating or how long your cycles are. For instance, if your cycles happen to be longer than 35 days, my doctor advised me to come talk to her. And thankfully, that has not happened to me. I have never had a cycle longer than 35 days. My cycles are consistently about 28 to 30 days, usually around the 30-day mark, which is totally fine. Typically, I do ovulate around cycle day 15-ish, and I do have consistent ovulation and cycles, though I am a woman that does have PCOS. So there's different forms of PCOS. Not everybody has the same struggles, and so it can often be hard to get diagnosed with PCOS. I actually was diagnosed after my miscarriages, but for several years I was undiagnosed simply because I had a cycle and ovulated. And so no doctor would really take me seriously. Even my hormone levels are pretty good. But there were signs in my body that things weren't necessarily 100% great. And so I think that's played into my fertility journey. It can really impact egg quality. It can impact your ovulation, like how healthy your ovulation is, your hormones in supporting a pregnancy. My AMH is too high, so I've been trying to bring that down. My AMH was over 14 when I started seeking fertility help after my second loss, and have brought that down to under 10, which is still too high for normal, but it's a sign that my body is working too hard and producing too many eggs. And I do have the ring of pearls on my ovaries as well. And so we're working with my fertility doctors to help my body be as healthy as possible. So I've shared in other videos, I may do another video on my channel of PCOS and like how it has impacted me and ways that I knew that I had it and needed help from a fertility doctor to be diagnosed, and how it can impact your fertility. So this is the ovulation test strip. So because I track on the Pre-Mom app, it will calculate when your expected fertile window is. It's pretty accurate. You know, a cycle is basically just a number and math equation. If you ovulate this day, your period will probably come this day. It's just kind of a math equation. And it all works around a calendar. And so when my fertile window starts, what we do is I start tracking my ovulation. Because I have normal ovulation and I know that it comes around cycle day 15, I do not personally track my ovulation at other times of my cycle. Now, there are a lot of women that do, and I think that is totally acceptable. If you are not sure of when you ovulate, or you suspect that you may ovulate more than once, or early in your cycle or late in your cycle, then yeah, track your ovulation at different times of your cycle. For me, again, because I'm so consistent, and it's been proven because I've gotten pregnant doing this, I know I ovulate on cycle day 15, so I start tracking in my fertile window to see when my ovulation peak will be. And you take a picture of the test and upload it, and the app will tell you when you're peaking. And it's a really cool process. I can share a picture of my current cycle. I haven't peaked yet, and it's only cycle day 13, so I know that that peak is coming. I also can tell it's coming because my cervical mucus is really thick, so I feel like my body is preparing to ovulate, which is so good. I'm so proud of my body. So that's how the ovulation testing strips work. And that's really all you do. And what we do is we have found the best success trying to conceive every other day. So when your fertile window starts, we try to hit every other day of intercourse. And we usually try to hit the day after ovulation as well, because sometimes the egg can hang out for a little bit. We've found success in that, and it's kind of hard to pinpoint exactly when you ovulate. So we will continue to try the day or two after ovulation even. And then you just kind of have to let your body see what it's going to do. It's really as simple as that. In terms of sperm quality and quantity and things, sometimes intercourse every single day is not efficient, I'll say, for the male. There's a lot of pressure on you to like produce when you're trying to conceive, and so every other day works. I'll say that. So we found that every other day is very, very successful. And again, we have gotten pregnant with this method 2 months out of the 4 that we have tried to conceive. So we do feel like it works for us. And I do feel like I would not have been as successful if I had not known when to try to conceive. For instance, if I get a peak on my test, we baby dance. Like, it's time to baby dance, you know, and we know, okay, we got to get serious today. So again, it's just really helpful. It also psychologically just helps you feel more in control of the situation. And it's just like a really helpful tool. And again, this box is not very expensive, so I would definitely recommend. All right, so another tool to go along with those strips that is so helpful. This product actually is pretty new on the market. I wish I had found it last year. Um, when you go to collect your sample for your ovulation or HCG testing strips, sometimes it's hard to collect that sample. In the past, I have used like a little cup, a little plastic cup, but I found something from Frida Mom, which I love all things Frida Mom and Frida Baby. Like everything on my baby registry is Frida Baby and Frida Mom. I love everything about it. Sometimes you can find these products at TJ Maxx, and I love to go there and find them. Is this Frida Mom testing bucket or cup, I guess you could say. And let me just say, this is one of the coolest inventions I have ever seen in terms of TTC. It has a little storage bag. Oh my gosh. And it has this little handle, which makes it so easy when you are collecting your sample to collect, I'll say that, in the toilet, because that can be a challenge. And it's just the perfect length to collect. I don't have to do any effort. It collects everything in here. I get enough sample. Again, it doesn't take much of a sample to be needed, but you still have to collect some. And it is collapsible, so you can easily store it in the little bag, take it in your purse with you. It's so amazing. And also there's a little thing on the top for where you can set the strip for when you're waiting for the timer for the strip. So this Frida Mom conception, ovulation, and pregnancy test kit is awesome. And it was like $10. So worth it. You can wash it. I would just hand wash it. Keep it in your bathroom. That's what I do. Keep it in the closet with my TTC supply so that when my fertile window comes around, I have it. Also, when I'm pregnant, I like to track my HCG tests consistently. This time around, I don't think I will be doing that, just simply because I'm going to be getting blood work done every week, which should tell me my HCG levels. So I don't really find, and I'm going to be getting ultrasound, so I don't really find the need, honestly, right now to do that. But in my last pregnancy, when I wasn't getting any intervention and did not have an appointment until 8.5 weeks, it was so helpful to just track those HCG tests at home. I think I tracked my pregnancy test until I was 6 weeks. And just to see that it was consistently getting darker and staying dark made me feel like, yay, my HCG levels are rising, all is good. Now, as we know, just because your HCG levels are rising does not mean that your pregnancy will be successful. And that is so hard because when you're pregnant, you think, oh, well, my HCG levels are rising. I feel really pregnant. Yes, but things can still go wrong. There can still be chromosomal issues. There can be issues with your hormones or your body. So I don't want you to just get your hopes up in terms of thinking my HCG is rising, everything is good, because yes, that is a really good sign. But sometimes they can just stop. Like that's what happened to me in my last pregnancy. My HCG levels were rising really good and then it just stopped. And sometimes we don't know the reason behind our losses. So I just want you to know that. But if you feel called to continue to track your HCG levels, do it. So after ovulation, you really just have a 2-week wait. Something you can do if you want, this is another easy at home product, is track your BBT, your basal body temperature. And let me just say that this actually works. So I don't think I'm going to be doing that this time because this is for natural conception. And let me just share with you what I mean by that. So how basal body temperature works is after you ovulate, your body temperature will start to increase with your hormone levels. And then once you get closer to period, the body temperature will drop because your hormone levels drop. And I believe it's progesterone that drops. I don't exactly know. Not a doctor, obviously. But some hormone drops if you're not pregnant and you get your cycle. I would think it's progesterone. But don't quote me on that. But if you are pregnant, those hormones continue to go up and your basal body temperature will continue to be elevated. So there's a certain temperature that your body is usually at. I think it's around 97. And then it peaks toward the end of your cycle. And if it continues to be high, then you may be pregnant. So I tested this out with my last pregnancy, and it was true. I will try to share the graph if it allows me to. It may not. It's been so long ago. But it was true. My temperature stayed up. And some women have a dip in temperature during ovulation or during implantation. And I sure enough had an implantation dip in my temperature chart the day that my pregnancy implanted. So it's crazy what your body does. And again, this is just something you can do if you're really wanting to track that. Some people do this without the ovulation strips. Some people do both. This was very inexpensive on Amazon, so I wanted to try it at first. Now again, with this time around, I probably will not do that because I'm going to be supplementing with hormones. I'm not sure that this would really be accurate at that point. After ovulation, I'll be taking my progesterone to hopefully help with my pregnancy if I am pregnant. So I probably won't use this time around, but look it up on Amazon. It may be something that you could find helpful. This is the Easy at Home BBT thermometer. We have our Easy at Home HCG pregnancy test. Now I love this because it comes with like 40 tests, and this is so much more inexpensive than going to Walgreens or Walmart and getting like the fancy pregnancy tests. I have found these to be super accurate to the point where I don't even need the fancy pregnancy tests. I did that in my last pregnancy because I was like, am I really pregnant? And sure enough, I was. But with these, if you get a positive test, they're pretty accurate. So for me, I probably won't even do a more expensive pregnancy test, maybe just for like sentimental value to hold on to it. But these little test strips work just as well. So again, if you're wanting to test your HCG, starting say DPO 14 after you've ovulated to see, am I pregnant? I tested positive. The earliest I have tested positive with these is DPO 11 days after ovulation, and I got a positive test. So this is a really cool product as well, just inexpensive to help you track your HCG levels. And then again, if you're one of those women that wants to keep tracking that until your first appointment with your OB, you can do that as well. All right, so those are a few of my favorite TTC products. Very basic, but they really make a difference in terms of just knowing what's going on with your body. There are some other products out there that are more expensive, like bracelets and trackers that you can invest in if you feel like your body needs that. At this point in time, because of my track record with fertility not being our issue of conception, I don't feel like I need anything additional. However, if I ever got to a point in my expanding family journey where I was really struggling with what's going on with my ovulation, I don't understand, I might invest in a bracelet or one of the trackers that can really show you what's going on with your body. But again, I'm going to be receiving a lot of support in pregnancy and weekly blood work and ultrasounds, and so I feel good that I'm going to have the support that I need. And then one more product I wanted to show you. This is not about TTC, but this is about vaginal health. And I have learned a lot about vaginal health over the course of my journey. And as you guys know, you can go to my channel and you can see more videos about chronic endometritis. So through my fertility workup, my fertility clinic found that I had chronic endometritis. What that is a chronic inflammation in your uterine lining called your endometrium, typically caused by bad bacteria in your uterus. If you get pregnant with chronic endometritis, you have a much higher chance of miscarriage. Much higher chance. We're talking like 60 to 70% chance of miscarriage. That was hard news to hear. But the good news is it's treatable. And so I went through 5 months of treatment for my chronic endometritis. and I had to do several rounds of antibiotic therapy. It was a lot, and I went through several biopsies that were very painful, like very, very painful, 4 biopsies. But at the end of the day, I was able to clear my chronic endometritis, and I feel much better going into my next pregnancy without that inflammation or infection. So that is a common reason for miscarriage, recurrent pregnancy loss as well. About 40% of women with recurrent pregnancy loss or implantation failure can identify with chronic endometritis. So if you do identify with some of the similar circumstances, unfortunately, of my journey, you may want to talk to your OB or fertility doctor more likely about, can you test me for chronic endometritis? And find a doctor that's willing to test you. That's all I'll say. Find a doctor that is willing to test you. It's not always the most common test, but if you have a really good fertility team like I do, they will test you for it. And that was what I had. So we have since cleared that, but something that I found along the way is vaginal pH test strips. And you can use these to see what's going on in my vagina. Is it healthy? And I share that to say infections in your vaginal area can lead to chronic endometritis because that infection can go up into your uterus. That could have been how I had it, and I believe that I did have it prior to my losses. That's what I believe. It can also come from a miscarriage or a D&C. You can develop it from a procedure, but in my circumstance, I do choose to believe that I developed it from before my losses were around. Because it took me so long to try to get rid of it. I feel like it was there for a while. But these vaginal test strips are also from Amazon. I don't know if I can zoom in so you can see it. And it can just make sure that your vaginal area is healthy. So another piece of encouragement I would give you if you are trying to conceive or if you've struggled with miscarriage. Another thing my doctor did, they made sure that my uterus was clean and healthy and no more inflammation. But they also did a swab of my vagina and found that I had no bad bacteria, no signs of bacterial vaginosis. I had healthy bacteria dominating, which is lactobacillus, and it was very healthy and a really good type of bacteria. So I'm happy to say that my uterus and vagina are in good shape and should be ready to support a healthy pregnancy. All right, so thank you for tuning in today where I shared some of my awesome favorite TTC products for you. Hopefully this will help you on your journey. Unfortunately, I have had great success with these. I do not have an earthly baby yet, but still hopeful and still using these amazing products. If you have any questions, just feel free to comment below. Really appreciate you tuning in to my video today. If you are on this journey with me, my heart and my prayers are with you. I am here to support you and always want to advocate for women in this space because God has opened up my eyes and my heart to women that struggle with this, and that is why I have my channel for love and support, and hope that something I shared helps you learn a little bit today. Thanks so much for tuning into my channel. I'll be back soon with some additional updates, and you'll have a very blessed day.